everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Life Sucks. Let's talk about it. I am here with Greg. I'm Amanda. And today we are talking to April. Hi, April.
Hello.
Hi, April.
Hello. It's nice to be here.
How's everyone doing?
Doing well, doing well.
We are. So what can we help you with, April?
So for the majority of my life, since I can remember, I've always procrastinated with pretty much everything, especially if I really don't want to do it until like the very last minute. And more recently, it's been becoming an issue at my work because there's certain things I just don't want to do until it's like I have to do it. And then it just puts a lot of pressure, unnecessary pressure on me to get it done when I've had plenty of time to do it. I just didn't want to. So, and it's just been a thing that I've always done. And I don't know how to like not do that.
Well, I disagree right off the bat. You do know how not to do that. So the first question I would have is, what do you get out of not doing it or procrastinating? There's something you're getting out of it because you know the answer. The answer is to do it sooner. That's simple. So there's something you're getting out of not doing it. So that to me would be the first question that we would want to know. What is it that you get out of it? Is it attention? Is it you feel good? Do you like, having to perform under pressure at the end? There's something there.
I think maybe the last thing, sometimes I feel like I do perform better under pressure because I feel like my mind like works better and works faster when I'm like under pressure for some reason versus when I have time to do it and I can like think about it too much and I overthink something and then I end up like panicking that it's not the right thing and then I go back and forth between that until I just give up to do it until I have to do it, if that makes any sense.
It does. It sounds like, you actually enjoy it. You like that challenge.
I don't know that I enjoy it. I would like to get to a point where I can maybe feel that way, like feel like I'm doing a good job without it being at the last minute. Because there are times where it came like, because I'm a paralegal, so I have a lot of deadlines I have to meet a lot, and there's been times where I'm like, yikes, am I going to meet this deadline like that? And that's just not going to be conducive long term, and it hasn't been. And I have missed deadlines before because of it, and I really would like to not feel that way. Feel like I have to wait till the last minute because then I do something better versus why can I not just do it the correct way the first few times or the first time or something like that.
So, are you putting too much pressure on yourself to do it the correct way the first time?
Probably.
And so you're not allowing yourself that time that you need to make those mistakes and then correct the mistakes and then go from there?
I guess not. Like, I don't know that I've thought about it quite that deeply.
What things have you done to try because you said this is your whole life. What are the things you've done or tried over time?
So with work and stuff, I make lists, like priority lists, and I do a pretty decent job of keeping to that list most of the time. And like I said, unless it's something that just like I really dread doing, then I'll just kind of keep pushing it to the bottom of the list until I can't anymore. I've read a couple of self-help books. I've listened to multiple podcasts. I've watched YouTube videos, and everything's just find a way to do it sooner. And I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. It's a very simple explanation, like you were saying, Greg, but it's not that simple to do it to me. Like, for example, not work-wise, like my thing at home that I really hate doing is folding clothes. It's like the bane of my existence. I hate folding clothes with every ounce of my being. So I don't do it. I do it like once every 4 or 5 months. And my husband's always like, you folded your clothes. Like, it's this big, huge thing. He's like, are you okay? Are you mad? And I'm like, no, I'm not mad. I just got tired of looking at it and going through baskets. And then it just kind of cycle that repeats itself just because I hate doing it. So I procrastinate doing it. So I'm over it. And then it's not something I have to do. So I just don't do it.
What problems has it caused for you? I know you said you missed some deadlines with work. What other areas has it? So the laundry is not a problem. To me, that's just a choice.
Yeah.
What problems has it caused?
Like I was saying, it causes me to have unnecessary stress for ridiculous reasons. And then at work, I have missed deadlines. And it's mostly just missing deadlines, and that I just need to be better at doing things sooner versus the other way around, and doing the things I like doing first and keeping the things I don't like doing last, and maybe reverse that and do those first so they're done and out of the way and I don't have to think about it. Like I think about it a lot, and I'm just, oh man, I gotta do that. I don't want to do that.
Amanda, this is a tough one for us, but it's not lining up. So, obviously, with her profession, she's intelligent. She's a smart person. You could tell by talking to her. She's on the ball. She knows what she should do or shouldn't do. I'm still kind of just back to that. There's something in it for her to do this, because this isn't a dumb person we're talking to. And so I'm wondering what that is. She knows what the answer is, but still isn't doing it. What are you thinking?
I don't know. Thinking a lot of things. April, when you're at home, when you're at home and you are procrastinating doing things, what do you do? Like, what activity do you do while you're procrastinating?
I like to watch movies with my daughter.
So you're
like, that's our favorite thing to do, is watch movies. And
yeah,
man, I need to like sweep the floor because the dog's attracting a ton of grass, and do the dishes and do all the things. I'm like, or we could watch a spooky movie.
Right. Okay.
And of course, my daughter will be like, let's watch a movie.
And at work, what do you do whenever you're procrastinating?
Oh, anything else. It doesn't matter. Like, I'll get up and walk around. I'll find something else to do that's less. So sometimes, like, if I feel like the task is above my understanding, or if I don't understand all of it, then I try to like research what I need to do. And if I still can't find the answers, then I just get intimidated and I don't want to do it. And then I don't have an issue with asking questions, but I want to make sure that the questions that I'm going to ask are going to be intelligent questions, so I don't feel like an idiot when I go to my boss and be like, hey, I have all these stupid questions. Let's sit down and talk about it. And to be fair,
you're afraid of what your boss thinks of you if you ask the wrong questions.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you think that could come back from your childhood, thinking that your parents might be upset with you for asking the wrong questions?
Well, I feel like you should know the answer to that.
Well, I was actually thinking it, and I don't know the answer to it, but my thought was too that you got some, like I said in the beginning, you're getting something out of this. And I'm like, well, as a kid, was she, not maybe given attention, and she procrastinates, and bad attention is better than no attention, and that would always seem to get you attention. That's where I was going, and I don't know you.
No. When I was a kid, I would procrastinate like schoolwork, like homework and stuff, because especially math, because I was terrible at math. And if I were to ask my dad questions about math, he would always just be like, well, why don't you know the answer to that? And I'm like, because I don't. That's why I'm asking. And so it just became this intimidation thing where I'm like, okay, well, if I'm asking the wrong question, or if I'm asking the question that I should know the answer to, but I don't, then I'm just going to look like an idiot. So therefore I need to make sure I don't look like an idiot before I go to either my dad or my boss or something like that. So then I just don't do it. And it's a miracle I graduated high school because of that specific thing.
Yeah. So you really need to figure out a way to work through. And Greg, you can correct me if I'm wrong in here, because you really have this background and I don't, but you really need to find a way to work through that expectation of putting on yourself, because really you're putting that expectation on yourself to ask intelligent questions to your boss.
I had the same similar upbringing, April. I'd get paired. I was a decent student. I didn't have to study. I was kind of lucky like that. But, my dad would quiz me, and the first question, I'd be like shaking. It's like, what's your name? I don't know. He's like, you don't know. You better, like, of course you know your name. You're so nervous because of, what the ramifications are of not knowing that it puts up a huge block. And so it's almost as if you're viewing everybody like that, your boss. And so you just procrastinate because you don't want to be told you're dumb or that it's a dumb question. But the reality of it is you're smart. Doing your job, you're smart. And because of the fact you grew up that way, you're going to be very sensitive to the questions you ask. So I assure you, you're not going to ask a dumb question, even though in your head, that's what's kind of going and grinding all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're so sensitive to it, it won't be a dumb question. But that's just your defense mechanism. You just don't do it because then, okay, well, she's not dumb. That's why you do it.
That makes sense. Okay.
I think.
I agree.
I can definitely see that where that would make the connection for sure. So I just kind of like, okay, well, if I don't do it, then it's fine until I have to do it.
Right, but you're not having to face that anxiety of having to deal with somebody telling you you're stupid.
Yeah.
Or asking the dumb question. That's your way of dealing with it.
Okay. So how do you suggest, like, I work through that? Like, I mean, I will just voluntarily say that I am in therapy, and this specific issue has not been brought up. I have talked a lot about my childhood, but not about this specific thing.
Why hasn't it come up?
It's a good question. I just don't think I've only been in. When did I start going?
It's only been about 2 months, right? Oh, it's been that long?
Well, yeah, but then she went on maternity leave, so and she hasn't been back from maternity leave yet. So
gotcha.
And then also, I'm generally a pretty private person, so it takes me a while to kind of talk about things that I don't like talking about. So with strangers.
And we cracked you in 13 minutes.
I mean, Amanda just makes it happen. She just pulls stuff out of me. Just looking at her beautiful face.
Well, thank you, Amanda.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
I think definitely talk to your therapy lady about it when she gets back from maternity leave. I think that she could definitely give you some tools to figure out how to work through that. And I don't think that you're alone in that issue at all. I think a lot of people have that fear of asking dumb questions, especially to their bosses.
Okay. It's very common. And a lot of times, April, people will, therapy, and therapy's not bad. I've been in therapy at different points in my life. Mm-hmm. Just don't let it become a deeper issue than it is too. You're aware of it. Once you become aware of it, that's half the battle. So, we could keep going to therapy and talking about it, but it's for what for? I mean, you know what the issue is.
Yeah.
So you're not dumb. And I'm telling you, because I was similar to you, the way I was, beaten down for, if anything was incorrect. People like us become, like I told you, very hypersensitive. So we're very much aware of the things coming out of our mouth. So the questions you ask, they're not going to be dumb. And a lot of it's just recognizing that. I mean, really, that's a big part of it. Therapy helps people, figure out what's going on. Well, once you know, how much are you going to sit and talk about it? Move on with your life. Recognize it and realize you're not that person. And you move on. Ultimately. But it wouldn't hurt you to talk to your counselor about it. But again, I just wouldn't dig in and, week after week.
Oh, yeah. No, we talk about various other things every single session that we have. So it's just one of those topics that just hasn't been. We've talked about my job before, and we've talked about how she has noticed when I come in, like, I don't talk positively about myself. So I think that kind of maybe falls a little bit in line with what we're talking about right here. So, but that's just something that I wasn't aware of until she pointed it out. She's like, you called yourself an idiot 3 times in that sentence. And I'm like, but that's just not, I don't know how to explain it. That's just how I talk about myself when I'm talking about myself. And she's like, well, why?
Yeah.
I don't know, because that's just how I've always talked about myself. I don't really know how else to talk about myself.
Because no one's corrected you. Like, you're not an idiot, number one. Number two, like Greg said, you're very freaking smart. Like,
you can't do your job if you're an idiot. So.
Yeah. 100%. And
Your job's harder than being a lawyer.
Sometimes.
Without you, they can't make any money. So
they can't function without her. Let me just say that right now. They cannot function without you. Okay, like,
or make any money.
Like, you guys are hilarious.
Well, it's true. So that's, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Work on that with your counselor, I would say. What do you think, Amanda? Work on that
I
with your
agree.
counselor. I mean,
Yeah,
really, it's a
well,
self-esteem issue. I mean, ultimately, it's a self-esteem
Ultimately,
issue.
it is. But
Feel better about yourself.
Yeah, and maybe bring up, have her give you ideas on how to talk more positively to yourself. I've had to work on that myself. Like, that's just, I don't
I
know
think
why.
most people have at some point in their life. I mean, I don't think she's, different than most.
I saw a thing earlier on social media that says if you sit there and write down 100 people that you love, how long does it take to get to yourself? You probably never will write yourself down. I wouldn't, but we should.
That's interesting. I don't know that I would have thought that either.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. So awesome. Do you have any other questions for us, April, or are you good?
I think I'm okay. Yeah, I just need to get over it, basically. just do it.
That's my approach. I like that.
Okay.
For real. Okay.
Oh,
Well, thank you so much for calling in. We
Thank
appreciate
you, April.
you.
It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you all as well. Thank you for your input. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
No problem. I'm going to kick you off stage now.
Okay, bye.
And then, bye.
Bye.
No, that's not. There we go. Move. Okay. Wait, there we go. She left.
Yeah, self-esteem. I mean, how many people do you think can relate to that?
Like millions.
Like everybody?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I'm sure everybody struggled with that. I mean, you can't have the job she has and be an idiot. Sorry.
No, 140 million%. Like,
hopefully we helped her.
I think we
see
probably
something
did.